of Lagos. Hare Krishna, Gora Shakti Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavad Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to you.
All glories to Gora Shakti Prabhu. Always ecstatic.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. I'm very happy to see your face every time you come to the class.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. I'm very happy to see you too.
Hare Krishna. Apurva Prabhu, how are you?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
I hope you will not leave early today. Every time you always leave before the end of the class.
No, a lot of service, Prabhu, and there was network failure on my side.
Oh, okay. Because it's always good to see enthusiastic devotees to stay till the end of the class, you know.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Right now, the Guru Puja is commencing, so I just came up to follow the class.
Thank you for giving time for it. Actually, well, if we give, it's only the timing is sometimes clashing with whatever we are doing in the temple. But actually, you know, knowledge is, especially in Krishna consciousness, the more we hear about Krishna, the more it strengthens our faith. Those who don't give importance to this scriptural study, they can never taste what is Krishna consciousness, actually. They will just have what we call some, what the word I want to use for it? Like kind of illusory emotion, you know? The emotion is there, but it's not real. If you are not studying the scripture. You have, you know that Krishna is there, you know that devotional service is okay, but really having faith and really practicing will not be very strong. Only when we study the scripture, the emotion become real. We can feel Krishna consciousness more, like that. So let's start without waiting. Don't let us reward the latecomers. If you wait for the latecomers, then you are rewarding them. So let us start. Oh my Gyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Shakshurumilitanyena Tasmai Shri Gorave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapetanyena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupa Sagrajata Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Vidamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Kavichandra Swaminiti Namini Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shriyavadi Pasyatya Desatarini Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So we continue immediately from where we stopped yesterday. We stop at 10:10. So we are going to continue from 10:11 today, isn't it? And before we start today's section, I would like, I know Prabhuji used to take notes. Gora Shakti Prabhu, can you summarize what we did yesterday, please, based on your notes?
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yesterday, we started with the Chatur Loki. So we dealt with 10, 8, 10, 9, and 10, 10. So before starting, you explain what is the Prayojana Abhidheya, and Sambada. And then 10-8 falls into the category of in this
Sambandha.
it falls in the category of let me see.
Sambandha.
Yes, Sambada. It falls into category of Sambada, and Sambada is defined as a knowledge of God, knowledge of ourselves. It means the spirit, the distinct spirit, and the knowledge of nature, and our relationship with God. So then for 8-10, it is Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo Matasavam Pravartate Iti Matva Bhajantema Buddhabhava Samavitaha. So there Krishna gives us the knowledge that is the source of all material and spiritual worlds. So it is the knowledge about Krishna. So, and we continue to 9. That is Machita Madgata Pranam Bodhayanta Parasparam Katayanta Shamam Nityam Dushanticha Romanticha. There it falls into the category of Abhidheya. Abhidheya. So Krishna shows us how pure devotees then practice devotional service. Their minds, they always think about Krishna, and they are very blissful when they converse about Krishna. And from there, we went to 10-10, which is, okay, for 10-10 there, Krishna tells us that those who are constantly then serving him, so he rewards them. That falls into the category of prayojana. Then prayojana is the reciprocation of Krishna to devotees. And so we have the Tisham Satata Yuktanam, Bhajatam Priti Purvakam, Dadami Buddhi Yogantam, Yanamam Upayantite. So that is prayojana. When we serve Krishna, he reciprocates to give us what is good. So there, Krishna said that he gives his devotees the understanding by which they can come to him. Then that is reciprocation. And then you told us that we have to follow our some goal in Krishna consciousness. And then when you have some goal, when we don't attain the goal, we will not stop. And okay, what I retain also that is very interesting for me is that we have the seeds of bhakti in our hearts. And every time we chant Hare Krishna, the Maha Mantra, and then we also recite Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, we read it, so then we are watering these seeds, this seed of devotion. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you very, very, very much. I'm enjoying you summarizing what we discussed yesterday. I'm enjoying it. I don't wish you stop. I'm wishing that you continue.
Okay.
This is very nice. It's very inspiring to see one who's really taking down notes. Because see, when you do this, you become a very good preacher for the movement. Like what you are doing. Like now, you are speaking to me, what you have taken down yesterday. You're already preaching. You can preach it to other devotees, which is very wonderful. Okay, thank you for taking it serious. Any other devotee want to contribute based on what we discussed yesterday also? So like you got it rightly, the 10-8 is more of Sambandha Gyan, where Krishna is describing about himself, how he's the source of everything. And the 9 is Abhidheya. Then 10 is split into two actually. One is part of Abhideya, and the second one is part of Prayojana. Okay, so half of 10 is Abhideya, still continue about Krishna is saying, when you render service to me, then I will reciprocate in this way, which is part of Prayojana. So today, test 11 is going to be fully more of Prayojana. So half of 10 and 11 is Prayojana. Okay, so thank you very much for the way you explain and remember all what we discussed yesterday. That is very interesting. I'm really intrigued. So let's continue. I'm not seeing any hands up. Nobody's want to tell us some of the things that we miss. Okay, if not, nobody is speaking, then we just continue from there. Okay. So test 11. Today, Krishna is going to be reciprocating. Very nice. You can see what happens when we engage in pure devotion. Okay, Krishna says, Tesham evanu kampartam ahamagyan jantamaha nasayami atma bhavasto jnanadipena vaswataha. So translation, to show them special mercy are dwelling in their heart, destroyed with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. Okay, to show them special mercy, I dwelling in their heart, destroyed with the shining lamp of knowledge. You know, because see, before we go into the purport, I would like to comment on what Prabhupada said, or Prabhupada Krishna is mentioned here. See, in this material world, there is nothing but the three modes of material nature. The three modes of material nature is one controlling everything. They are the one controlling us. That is why Krishna mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, Devi Yesha Guna Mayi Mama Maya Duratyaya. So when Krishna is saying my material energy, he's talking about these three modes. Krishna mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, he said in 13 and 14, he said, Tribi Gunai Mayi Baba Ebi Sarva Midam Jagat, Moitana Bijanati. So you say people cannot understand me because they are under these three modes of material nature. Then in 14 it says, Devi Yesha Guna Mayi Mama Maya. This my three modes of material nature is very difficult to overcome. So actually, the only reason why we don't understand Krishna, we are not spiritual, is because we are under the influence of the modes of nature. So unless we are able to transcend these modes of nature, we cannot attain perfection. So all our endeavor now, what we are doing now, is to bring ourselves to the mode of goodness, actually. Because when you come to the mode of goodness, it's easier for you to transcend. When in the mode of ignorance and passion, you cannot enjoy devotional service. You don't even understand what is devotional service. But when you bring yourself to the mode of goodness, it's easier for you to understand what is devotional service and how to practice devotional service. So cultivating knowledge is to bring us to the mode of goodness. So here Krishna is saying that if you engage in my devotional service, I will come into your hearts and I will destroy that ignorance that is bounding you to this world. That is Krishna's reciprocation out of love for us. That is why it is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, say, Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati utama shloke bhakti bhavati naishtiki. When we engage in reading Srimad Bhagavatam every day, Nashta prayeshu nityam bhagavata, nityam means eternally. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that as constantly or eternally means doing it every day or doing it 24 hours every day, which we are not on that level yet. We cannot do it 24 hours every day. But at least doing it every day for a specific hours. Let's say 1 hour or 2 hours you are reading Srimad Bhagavatam every day. It's very, very powerful. Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu. By doing that, all the dirty things in our heart, if we remember in the beginning of this chapter, Krishna mentioned all the good quality and he says it's coming from him also. So all those dirty, bad behaviors in our heart, when we do this every day, Krishna said, in Bhagavad is mentioned, Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu, nityam Bhagavad says, Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti will be destroyed, almost destroyed. Actually, it is translated, Nashta Prayishabad Rishunitam Bhagavata. Almost, you say, all the deities in our heart will be almost completely destroyed. Means everything will be completely destroyed, but you see, it will still remain something. Almost means almost not complete. So the Acharyas, they gave commentary on that. Why is almost not complete? We'll talk about that later. But what I'm trying to say is that when we engage in regular studying of Srimad Bhagavatam, our bhakti seed will grow very fast. Why devotees are stuck, are not enthusiastic, engaging in devotional service, is because they are not studying Srimad Bhagavatam. Any devotee who is studying Srimad Bhagavatam every day, I'm not talking about sitting in the class and listening, which we may not be listening most of the time, but we're taking the endeavor to study ourselves, the Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay? Well, any devotee who is doing this every day, we always be enthusiastic in devotional service. And we need this enthusiasm, like Srila Rupa Goswami mentioned in Upadeshamrita, Usaha Nisaya Daryat. You know, we have to be enthusiastic, we have to be confident, and we have to be patient. Unless you read Srimad Bhagavatam, you cannot be enthusiastic, confident, and patient in devotional service. So this is very, very important. So when we do it every day, it now say, Nashta Prayishabad Bhagavatas, Kadaraja Samo Bhava Kama Lopa Dayas Shaye. Cheta Eta Anavidam Sitam Satwe Prasidati. When we engage in regular devotional service to the Lord, the mode of passion and ignorance, which is symptomized by lust, anger, greed, madness, all those things in our heart, will be destroyed. The devotee will be situated on the mode of goodness. When we come to the mode of goodness, that is when we start devotional service. Devotional service actually begins when we come to goodness, because at that time, devotional becomes sweet. You know what you are doing. You are in knowledge. You know what you are doing. When you are engaging in devotional service in the mode of passion and ignorance, it's very painful. You are forcing yourself. You are not enjoying what you are doing. So here, Krishna is saying, to show them special mercy, after the verse 10, when you engage in Tesham Sadatam Yutanami, Bhajatam Priti, when you engage in Bhajatam Priti Purvakam, when you engage in loving service to Krishna, Tesham Sadatam means those, Tesham means to those, Sadatam Yuktanam, who he mentioned in the previous verse, who engage in devotional service, Tesham Sadatam Yuktanam, Bhajatam Priti Purvakam, with love, with devotion, with love, I give them knowledge. What is the nature of that knowledge Krishna is describing here? The knowledge that will destroy the ignorance in our heart. That's why he mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam also, he says, Shivata Swakata Krishna Punya Shavanam Ketanam Ridiyata Stoya Badrani Vidu Noti Shuri Shatam. When a devotee develops affinity to hearing about Krishna, Krishna enters into his heart and destroys the ignorance in his heart. So hearing about Krishna is being emphasized here. So there is no alternative for us to engage in pure devotional service unless we constantly hear about Krishna by studying Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. It's very, very important for our spiritual life. Immediately, whatever we are doing and we are unable to do these things, chanting and hearing, we are only wasting our time in practicing devotional service. Because when we stop hearing and chanting, whatever we are doing that is out of false ego. We'll be struggling ourselves. We'll be struggling. Okay? So someone read Srila Prabhupada's purport.
Can I read?
Please go ahead, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Purport. When Lord Chaitanya was in Banes promulgating the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thousands of people were following him. Prakashananda Saraswati, a very influential and learned scholar in Banes.
Benares. It's called Benares.
Okay, Benares. Benares. At that time, derided Lord Chaitanya, for being a sentimentalist. Sometimes Mayavadi philosophers criticize the devotees because they think that most of the devotees are in the darkness of ignorance and are philosophically naive sentimentalists. Actually, that is not the fact. There are very, very learned scholars who have put forward the philosophy of devotion. But even if a devotee does not take advantage of their literatures or of his spiritual master, if he is sincere in his devotional service, he is helped by Krishna himself within his heart. So, the sincere devotee engaged in Krishna consciousness cannot be without knowledge. The only qualification is that one carry out devotional service in full Krishna consciousness. The Mayavadi philosophers think that without discriminating, one cannot have pure knowledge. For them, this answer is given by the Supreme Lord. Those who are engaged in pure devotional service, even though they be without sufficient education and even without sufficient knowledge of the Vedic principles, are still helped by the Supreme God, as stated in this verse. The Lord tells Arjuna that basically there is no possibility of understanding the supreme truth and the absolute truth, the supreme personality of Godhead, simply by speculating. For the supreme truth is so great that it is not possible to understand him or to achieve him simply by making a mental effort. Man can go on speculating for several millions of years, and if he's not devoted, if he is not a lover of the supreme truth, he will never understand Krishna or the supreme truth. Only by devotional service is the supreme truth, Krishna, pleased. And by his inconceivable energy, he can reveal himself to the heart of the pure devotee. The pure devotee always has Krishna within his heart. And with the presence of Krishna, who is just like the sun, the darkness of ignorance is at once dissipated. This is the special mercy rendered to the pure devotee by Krishna. Due to the contamination of material association, through many, many millions of births, one's heart is always covered with the dust of materialism. Service and constantly chants, and one is good only by this chant and by devotional service, and not by mental speculation or argument. The pure devotee does not have to worry about the material necessities of life. He needs not be anxious, because when he removes the darkness from his heart, everything is provided automatically by the Supreme Lord, who is pleased by the loving devotional service of the devotee. This is the essence of the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. By studying Bhagavad Gita, one can become a soul completely surrendered to the Supreme Lord and engage himself in pure devotional service. As the Lord takes charge, one becomes completely free from all kinds of materialistic endeavor. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So I have a question. Let us discuss. Let's have some class discussion. Prabhupada mentioned here, for them, answer is given by the Supreme Lord. Those who are engaged in pure devotional service, even though they be without sufficient education and without sufficient knowledge of Vedic principle, are seen here by the Supreme Lord as stated in this verse. What does Prabhupada mean here? Let's discuss. What do you understand? Let's discuss. I want the body to contribute. What do you understand by that proper statement? Did you see the statement?
Take the statement again.
For them, this answer is given by the Supreme Lord. Those who are engaged in pure devotional service, even though they be without sufficient education and even without sufficient knowledge of the Vedic principle, are still held by Supreme God as stated in this verse. What is the meaning? What do you understand? Let's discuss.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Paul.
Yes. This verse or this part seems like what Krishna said in 10:10, that he gives knowledge to those who constantly engage in devotional service in order to come to him, to understand him, to come to him. This is how I understand the point. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much for your contribution. I want to hear more, please.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Prabhu.
Yeah, my own opinion concerning this is that the devotional life surpasses every other Vedic process of realizing Krishna, but it doesn't depend on somebody's material intelligence. Someone may have so much material degrees and go, but the part of devotion will not be realized because it takes another level, like sincerity and ability to surrender. That surrender, if it's not there, it will not be possible. For instance, one may be materially so advanced, much more than the self-realized souls. But when it comes to the actual thing, if he is puffed up by the knowledge he has, the bhakti process will not be revealed. So it's from the heart, the person inside. So Krishna will now address when he sees that somebody is very sincere. But because the Vedic mantras and all the stuff, they're very, very intricate. Chanting of the mantras, following the systemic arrangement to chant it, the Gayatri, all the different mantras. So if somebody is sincerely following, then Krishna is seated in the heart, like it says in Bhagavad 15:15. You know, that I'm seated in everyone's heart. From him, me comes remembrance and forgetfulness. So somebody who is very sincere, Krishna sees that he's very, very sincere. So he will now tell him how to approach him because Krishna is not material. So that is what I understand by that. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. You got the points. Yes. So that the point I was looking for, you mentioned it. So devotional service does not depend on our material knowledge. That's the point. Mm-hmm. The paper mentioned in the purport, it's based on our sincerity. So if a devotee, even though if it's not materially so-called educated, so when Prabhupada is talking about education there, he's talking about material knowledge. He's not talking about spiritual knowledge. I want to know whether you understand the point. That is what I'm asking, because sometimes when devotees want to quote this kind of purport, they misquote. Or you don't depend on knowledge. Means that they are telling you that they don't need to read Bhagavad Gita. They don't need to read Srimad Bhagavatam. That is what they are indirectly trying to tell you. Okay, but that is not the point. Okay, so you got my point. The point, you got the Prabhupada's point there. Prabhupada is saying there, it doesn't depend on material education. You may be very highly educated materially. If you are not sincere and you don't have devotion to Krishna, you cannot understand devotional service. You cannot attain. That is why Prabhupada mentioned, if you look at that purport, Prabhupada says, he says, those who are engaged in pure devotional service, we should understand, engaging in devotional service is different from engaging in pure devotional service. We should understand this very clear. We should understand this very, very, these things It's very subtle, but we should understand what it means. Pure devotional service is another level. What is pure devotional service? Srila Rupa Goswami defined pure devotional service in Nectar of Devotion. Anya bila shitam shunyam, jnana karmadi anavritam, alukuyena krishnanum shananam bhakti uttama. That is the definition of pure devotional service. What does that mean? Anya bila shitam shunyam. When pure devotion arises in the heart, Anya, Abilash, or Anya, Abilash. Anya means others. Abilash means desire. Anya Abilashita, Shunyam. All material desire becomes zero in the heart of that devotee. Such as fruitive activity, karma, gyan, cultivating knowledge, just for cultivating knowledge, for cultivating knowledge's sake. Jnana, karma, anavritam, and others. So what I'm trying to say is that Srila Rupa Goswami clearly defined pure devotional service means, pure devotional service means no more material desires. If we are still having material desires, means that we are not engaging in pure devotion yet. We are engaging in devotional service, but not pure. Okay, we should understand that, and we should be humble about ourselves. Okay, we should be humble that we are not on that platform yet. Because pure devotional service means no anya bila sitam sunyam, no material desire. Alukuyena Krishna, no, this is very, very important actually. Alukuyena Krishna, no, shenanam. So Narada Muni gave a very good example. He was asking Yudhishthira Maharaj in Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 7. Kamsa was always thinking of Krishna 24 hours a day. If we have to categorize pure devotional service, I think Kamsa should be number one on the list.
Pure devotee.
Because Kamsa was always thinking of Krishna. If there was a custard in those days, if there was a custard, you know custard, that pap, Oyibo pap, custard.
Yes.
If there was custard those days, if they serve Kamsa custard, immediately we see that yellow color. He will remember Krishna because that is color of Krishna. Everything reminds Kamsa of Krishna. Everything reminds Kamsa of Krishna. Everything. But is it pure devotional service? No. Why? Because it's not Alukuyena Krishna known. It's not favorable to Krishna. Kamsa was always thinking about killing Krishna, not to serve Krishna. So Kamsa cannot be categorized on the platform of pure devotees. Okay, so pure devotional service is defined very clearly here by Srila Rupa Goswami. So Prabhupada mentioned in that purport that for them, this answer is those who are engaged in pure devotional service, even though they are without sufficient education, even without sufficient knowledge of the Vedic principle, are still held by God, as stated in this verse. So means that what Prabhupada is saying here is that when we come to that platform, when we engage in pure devotional service, means there's no material desire again, there's no desire for monistic knowledge, and then there's no desire for mystic power. There's no, we are only following the instruction of our guru to please Krishna and studying the Bhakti Shastras. Even if the devotee is not very learned in the whole Vedic scripture, Krishna will still guide the devotee in the heart. Why? Because of the sincerity of that devotee. So Srila Prabhupada mentions that advancement in devotional service depends on the attitude of the practitioner. What does that mean? Means Prabhupada also mentioned in another place that the only two things we need to attain pure devotional service, to attain Krishna, is sincerity and steadiness. We have to be sincere with ourselves. We have to be very sincere with ourselves. What are we doing in devotional service? It's very, very important. Okay? So let's go to so that is the end of Chatusloki. here come to the end of Chatusloke, the 4 verses, which talk about Krishna being the source of everything, how to attain Krishna, and how Krishna reciprocates when we come to the highest level of pure devotional service. Krishna will completely destroy the ignorance in our heart. Then at that time, we enter into Bhava Bhakti, pure love for Krishna. At that time, when we come to the level of Bhava Bhakti, there are 8 symptoms, according to Srila Rupa Goswami. One of them is that devotee does not want to waste time again. Like now, many of us, when we are not doing anything, we are enjoying watching Facebooks. We continue to do like this on Facebook. We continue to do like this on TikTok. We'll be scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and we're enjoying doing that. We can do that for 3-4 hours without no stop. But someone who has developed pure love for Krishna will not waste time for doing that. Although we may not be on that platform, but we should know. Yeah, we should know. We should be aware that wasting of time is a sign that we don't have love enough for Krishna. Okay, because when the time will come, when the final time will come, the final day will come, 1 second will not be added for us. 1 second. You may be able to think, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. Even though if you are a billionaire, you cannot buy 1 second at that time at the end of life. You cannot buy 1 second. You cannot buy 1 second with your billions and billions of dollars. 1 second, you cannot buy it with all your money. You cannot buy 1 second. To tell you how valuable time is, you cannot buy 1 second. When your final time comes, you cannot buy 1 second with your billions of dollars. That is how precious time is. And that is why we should properly utilize our time in cultivating devotional service. So let us start again from text 12. Krishna will start another topic with Arjuna. Okay, let's continue. Now Krishna is going to start telling, Arjuna will reveal him, will tell Krishna about his realization, then Krishna will now reveal his opulences to Arjuna. Okay, let's continue. In 12:13, Arjuna, I think in 12:13, 12 and 13, Arjuna came to realization after hearing about the Chatushloki. Okay. What is Arjuna realization? Let us hear now. Arjuna, are you seeing my screen? I'm not sharing anything. I was thinking I'm sharing. Actually, I'm not sharing anything.
Yeah, I'm not sharing yet.
Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, it's coming up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we have our Bhagavad Gita, sir. So.
Okay, very good. Yeah, this is just for the online. Okay. Here it says, Arjuna Vacha Param Brahma Parandama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashwatam Divyam Adideva Majam Bibo Ahustwam Rishaya Sarve Devarishi Naradastata Asito Devalo Vyasaha Swayam Shaiva Brabhishime. So after hearing all these glories of Krishna from beginning of this text 10 to this Chatusloki, Arjuna came to a realization and is telling all of us here to listen. Arjuna say, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal transcendental time, eternal transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa confirm this truth about you. And now you yourself are declaring it to me. So we can say in Arjuna's statement, he's not saying, because Krishna, you are this, based on my own conclusion. No. He gave reason. He mentioned the name of great personality, Narada, Asita, Devala, Vyasa. All these great personality, they are the father of our devotion. They are the father of devotion. We know about Vyasa Dev. So Arjuna is confirming to us the greatness of Krishna in this verse. Is revealing his heart to Krishna. Somebody want to read the purport?
Purport. In these two verses, the Supreme Lord gives a chance to the Mayavadi philosophers, for here it is clear that the Supreme is different from the individual soul. Arjuna, after hearing the essential 4 verses of Bhagavad Gita in this chapter, became completely free from all doubt and accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He at once boldly declares, "You are Param Brahman, the Supreme Personality of Godhead." And previously, Krishna stated that he is originator of everything and everyone. Every demigod and every human being is dependent on him. Men and demigods, out of ignorance, think that they are absolute and independent of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But ignorance is removed. That ignorance is removed perfectly by the discharge of devotional service. This has already been explained in the previous verse by the Lord. Now, by his grace, Arjuna is accepting him as the supreme truth. In accordance with the Vedic injunction, it is not that because Krishna is Arjuna's intimate friend, Arjuna is flattering him by calling him the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The absolute truth, whatever Arjuna says in these 2 verses, is confirmed by Vedic truth. Vedic injunctions affirm that only one who takes to devotional service to the Supreme Lord can understand him, whereas others cannot. Each and every word of this verse spoken by Arjuna is confirmed by Vedic injunction. In the Kena Upanishad, it is stated that the Supreme Brahman is the rest for everything, and Krishna has already explained that everything is resting on him. The Mukunda Upanishad confirms that the Supreme Lord, in whom everything is resting, can be realized only by those who engage constantly in thinking of him. This constant thinking of Krishna is Smaranam, one of the methods of devotional service. It is only by devotional service to Krishna that one can understand his position and get rid of this material body. In the Vedas, the Supreme Lord is accepted as the purest of the pure. One who understands that Krishna is the purest of the pure can become purified from all sinful activities. One cannot be disinfected from sinful activities unless he surrenders unto the Supreme Lord. Arjuna's acceptance of Krishna as the supreme pure complies with the injunctions of Vedic literature. This is also confirmed by great personalities, of whom Narada is the chief. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and one should always meditate upon him and enjoy his transcendental relationship with him. He is the supreme existence. He is free from bodily needs, birth, and death. Not only does Arjuna confirm this, but all the Vedic literatures, the Puranas, and histories. In all Vedic literature, Krishna is thus described, and the Supreme Lord himself also says in the 4th chapter, "Although I am unborn, I appear on this earth to establish religious principles. He is the supreme origin. He has no cause, for he is the cause of all causes, and everything is emanating from him. This perfect knowledge can be had by the grace of the Supreme Lord." Here, Arjuna expresses himself through the grace of Krishna. If we want to understand Bhagavad Gita, we should accept the statements in these 2 verses. This is called the Param system, acceptance of the disciplic succession. Unless one is in the disciplic succession, he cannot understand Bhagavad Gita. It is not possible by so-called academic education. Unfortunately, those proud of their academic education, despite so much evidence in Vedic literature, stick to their obstinate conviction that Krishna is an ordinary person.
Obstinate conviction that Krishna is an ordinary person. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we can see these two verses is very, very important. Arjuna is, after hearing the Chatusloke, so Arjuna is confirming the supremacy of Krishna. So Prabhupada said, same thing also have to appear and happens to us also. After hearing these two verses and the Chatusloke, we should really understand who we are talking about now. The supreme personality of God, Krishna, his position, his Param Brahma, Param Dharma, Pavitram. And Prabhupada also mentioned in the purport that one cannot be free from sin unless we surrender to Krishna. That's why Krishna mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharma Parityaja, Mamekam Sharana Vraja. Aham Tvalva Sarva Vivyo Moshe Yasmi Masucha. You surrender unto me, abandon all varieties of religion. Many a time devotees they misinterpret this sloka. When the word Dharma was translated to be religion, they think that Krishna is saying that you abandon Christianity, Muslim, and just surrender to Hare Krishna. No, that is not it's not what Krishna is saying. Krishna is not talking about the mundane religion. He's not talking about the religion of this world. No, all those names, they are created in this world. Christian, Muslim, everything was given in this name. Were named by people, you know. Christian was given by some people. Oh, those who follow Christ, and there's Islam, those who follow the law of Allah, or whatever. And so all those, these are mundane religion means created here for us to be able to understand who God is. But the real eternal religion, which is Sanatan Dharma, is the religion of the soul. And it's called, that is what we talk about, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Astanga Yoga. These are the Dharma that Krishna is talking about. Because these are the things that Krishna discussed in Bhagavad Gita. Okay? It talks about Karma Yoga, it talks about Dhyana Yoga, it talks about Jnana Yoga, it talks about Astanga Yoga. So what Krishna is telling Arjuna is that all this knowledge I've given you, Sarva Dharma Paritaja, forget about all of them. The main thing I'm trying to tell you is that you should surrender to me. And if you do that, you'll be free from sin. Because whatever situation we find ourselves, whether we are poor, we are struggling to get money, or we are suffering some bad disease, or we are getting some complication in our life, it's due to sinful life, our past sins. So only when we surrender to Krishna, all those our past sins will be purified. Suffering is due to sin. And immediately you stop sinning, you are beginning an auspicious life. So Krishna is saying, the only way you can stop sinning is only when we surrender to him. Okay. So here Arjuna has clearly, established the position of Krishna. And it's not establishing that, Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, not because I'm your friend, so you have bribed me. Let me tell the people that you are this. No. You can't. Krishna has not given any bribe to Arjuna. Arjuna is speaking based on realization. Okay. Any comments or contribution?
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
I want to ask this question. If you remember to address it. The question concerning Nastya Arbadria Bajashu Nityambagana Sevaya is why is it almost completely destroyed? I hope you remember to address it.
Yes, I left it for the attentive listener to ask the question.
We tried to address the question somehow ago, maybe a couple of days back. The same question came up. We attempted it, but I want you to throw more light because it's very, very important for us.
Yeah, so, very good. So by what it means is that the scripture is telling us, even also all the acharyas also, they have already explained to us, okay? By the power of our devotional service, reading, studying the Srimad Bhagavatam, engaging in the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra every day, studying Bhagavatam very scrutinized every day, all our anarthas in our heart will be almost completely destroyed. But there's some anarthas that will remain. Those anarthas, you yourself have to give them up. Krishna will not tamper with your free will. on that zone. So let us talk about that. So in Krishna book, Krishna killed many demons. And all the demons that Krishna killed in his pastime, they represent different anarthas or dirty things in our hearts. But there are two demons that Krishna did not kill. What are those demons? If you can remember them, anybody who is acquainted with Krishna book, let us do some class discussion. Who are those demons? The demons that were not killed by Krishna? I'm not, unless we mentioned it, I will not continue with this explanation. We are not. Are we not reading Krishna book? Yamasami is coming very soon. Huh?
Pralambasura.
Pralambasura, yes, good. Pralambasura and who? Remaining one. No.
Oh.
Not Keshi. Keshi was killed with Krishna. Then Ukasura, let me help you because already you answered one. So I will just answer the second one. Okay? Then Ukasura. Okay? So these two demons, they represent very essential part of the anarthas in our heart. All other anarthas, when we engage in devotional service, Krishna will kill them. We remove them naturally by engaging in devotional service. All those anarthas will go away. But these two anarthas will remain. What does they represent? Pralambasura represents the attraction for the opposite sex. Okay? Desire for opposite sex. Okay, if you're a man, desire to enjoy the woman. And if you're a woman, desire to enjoy man. That is why you see even a pastor, big pastor, big science, they still fall down to this problem. It's not their fault. It's not their fault, okay? So whenever you see somebody have that kind of problem, you should not like bring the hammer, let us name him, let us break his head. No. These two, Krishna say, I will not tamper with it, okay? Even though this person has surrendered to me, he has to give it up by himself, okay? So that is desire for the opposite sex, desire to enjoy the opposite sex, and desire for position, desire for honor, adoration, and worship. Krishna will not remove this anartha. So, and then Ukasura represents ignorance of devotional service. Krishna will not tamper with these two things. Okay? Who killed Pralambasura?
Lord Balaram.
Who killed Yanukasura?
Lord Balaram.
Lord Balaram. Who is Lord Balaram? I want the body to be interactive. Let us speak. Open your mic and speak. Are you just hiding behind the camera?
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Who is Lord Balaram?
Yeah, Lord Balaram is Krishna's brother.
Okay, what is his duty? What is it
representing?
representing?
The strength of Krishna.
Okay, what is it representing in our devotional service? We always hear that.
Ability to move, to practice, to follow.
Okay, good. But still something more.
He's our spiritual master.
Yes, Lord Balaram is representing the spiritual master. He's the original spiritual master. Lord Balaram. So Lord Balaram is considered to be the servitor Godhead. Is the best servant of Krishna. Is the supreme personality of servitor Godhead. Proper mention like this in one of his books. Okay, it's Krishna, but it's Krishna in form of servants that is showing us how to serve Krishna. So Lord Balaram is the representative, is the sum total of the Guru. Is the one in charge of our spiritual masters. Okay, is the Krishna form in some form of the spiritual master. So Krishna will not tamper with these anarthas in our heart, because only when the devotee, by the service, by their sincere service to their guru and by the mercy of the guru, getting the mercy of the pure devotee, then those desires will leave our heart. especially desire to enjoy the opposite sex. Okay? We see, that is why you see many people, even so many highly spiritually advanced people, this desire is still there in their heart. Only by the mercy of the guru can this desire be removed. Okay? Desire for position. We see the bodies engage in devotion service, they still want the position, they still want to be recognized, they still want to be worshipped. These are anarthas that Krishna will not remove. Even though if all anarthas or other anarthas have been removed, but this desire, the devotee himself has to give up this desire themselves and see that this thing, they are obstacle on my part of my devotional service. I don't want them. You have to give them up yourself. And some of us, we are struggling to give them up. So we need to pray to the guru. Our guru, we need to pray to our guru. We need to pray to Lord Balaram to please help us so that we can become strong enough to give up these desires, because they will keep on dragging us back. Okay? Apu, are you okay with that? Apurva Babu?
No, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I said no. What? I want you to clear this point now. Like you said, we have to struggle to give it up ourselves. Okay? So, but the issue of smoking.
I'm not saying we should struggle to give it up. I said we have to give it up. We have to desire to give them up.
Yeah, I know, but get my point. My question is this: that it was not killed. The Parambasula, the Nukasura, they were not killed. We are asked to make effort on our own to remove them.
Not on our own. That's why I asked you, who is Lord Balaram who killed them?
Okay, but what's our own position? We make effort. Is it not that we make personal effort and sincerely?
Yeah, we have to give up the desire, and if we serve our guru very sincerely and purely, by the mercy of the guru, once the guru give you their mercy, this desire to give it up will be very strong in your heart. That is how to know whether you have gotten the mercy of the guru.
Okay, but my question is like this is a kind of follow-up for further clarification. The issue of four regulative principles like no gambling, intoxication, and the other one. Yeah. That we also give up this thing. We also make desire to stop smoking, for instance. Is it not?
Yeah.
Is a So how can you explain it clearly so that we understand the difference? Because there's a thin line between this personal effort and through the guru and reading the scriptures and co. But when somebody, for instance, is having an addiction for smoking, okay, he still make a lot of effort, personal effort, and he prays. So I don't really understand how one can reconcile it.
Let me give example whether you understand. When you are riding a bicycle and you are driving a car, is it the same effort?
No.
What is the difference between riding a bicycle and driving a car?
The car is automated.
And then?
Then bicycle is more of your physical strength. Then you
personal
pedal.
effort.
Personal effort. You pedal.
So Guru Mercy is like riding a car. Okay? Guru Mercy is like getting a car. Personal effort is like riding a bicycle. Okay? So when we get the mercy of the Guru, our devotional service and giving up this material desire, these impediments, like we mentioned, will be like being in a car, or proper call it being in an elevator. You enter an elevator and using the staircase. Using staircase and elevator is not the same. When you use staircase, you are using strength. When you enter into the elevator, you are up there. See the difference? So like what you say, you want clarification. The clarification is that even though we are told to give up illicit sex, some of us, we have been practicing devotional service for many years. We are still engaging in them. Okay? Some of us, we have been practicing devotional service for many years. We still have desire to eat meat. That is why when somebody will make kebab and do it like suya, our tongue is salivating, you know.
That's God.
We call it
God.
God. But they will make it like, to make it look like suya. So the desire to eat meat is still there. You see? No matter how we try to polish it, that desire is still there. We have not given up, you know. And so like that, some of us we are still interested in playing gambling, you know, in different ways. So like some devotees, they still engage in some small gambling. You know, they call it, oh, this one is not. Now they will not start using their own intelligence. This one is not gambling.
Business. A lot
this
of
one is not gambling. This one is business now. You know, so all these desires are still there. But one who has gotten the message of the guru, all these things, they will naturally and easily give them up and understand what is pure devotional service are and what is not pure devotional service. That is why in the beginning of Nectar of Instruction, Srila Rupa Goswami clearly defined all these things. What we should give up and what we should embrace. Clearly I mentioned them. Okay? Atiara, Prayasa, Prajapo, Niyamangra, all of them mentioned them in Nectar of Instruction. What we should accept and what we should reject. Mention them nicely. So when we are struggling with the principle of devotional service, with the regulative principle of devotional service, when we are struggling to follow, when we are struggling to chant our rounds, when we are struggling to read the books, when we are struggling to follow the four regulative principle, means that we are not getting the mercy of the guru enough. Okay? And that is why it's very difficult for us to practice. Those who are getting the mercy of Guru or Param Guru, it will be very easy for them to follow all these things. Is that more clear now, or you still want more clarification?
Next time.
All right.
Next time.
Yeah,
thank you. Thank you.
Prabhu, your hand is up. Please go ahead. Gurashakti Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Prabhu.
Now I can understand that the not killing of Parambasura by Krishna is the cause of our difficulties. But I can notice that of the four regulatory principles, then the most difficult one is that illicit text.
The Baba, the grandfather of that.
That's what I can notice. So today I understand. So the question I would like to ask now is that if you consider the important persons, then can we say that this is a mercy of Krishna to them? I mean, those who are important.
Impotent.
Yes, important. Is it Krishna mercy to them?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Stephen, wait. Don't worry. Let him finish. Okay, don't interrupt other people's question. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I'll finish.
Yeah, let me finish with him. Then you can bring up your point, Stephen Govinda. Okay. Yeah. So the thing that is here is that being impotent doesn't mean that there is no desire for sex life. Okay. Yeah. If somebody is impotent, doesn't mean that he doesn't have desire for sex life. Giving up that desire itself is the mercy of the guru. Somebody can be impotent and still try to satisfy his sexual urge by watching porn and watching other things and try to satisfy with so many other means. Just trying to satisfy that desires. Okay, so giving up the desire itself, that is the mercy. Okay, because once you give up that desire, you become peaceful in your mind. You know, you become peaceful in your mind becomes calm. Okay, you become happy. Then devotional service will be very easy for you to practice. Because these things, like we are saying, the desire itself is what making us to become restless. Like we're saying many times in Nigeria, in ISKCON, I've been in ISKCON for many years in Nigeria there. So I know, we see sometimes devotees, they are inside the altar. And at the back of the altar, they are trying to gratify their senses quick one. We have seen many stories in the temple. The desire is strong in them. They go to the back of the altar. We have had devotees having, union with the opposite sex, even very close to the altar. even though they are very close to Krishna, that because the desire is very strong in their mind, they are engaging in that activity. That is why he said, you see sometimes you see when the Matajis and the Prabhujis cooking in the kitchen, you know, you have to be very careful of that food, because especially when they are very attached to themselves, you know, because don't tell me that they are thinking of Krishna. They're just, you know, especially when they are very attached, especially when they are very attached to themselves. Babananda, don't obstruct me when I'm speaking. That is not that is unethical, okay? You can let me speak, finish, then you can talk, okay? So, especially when they are very attracted to each other, okay? You can imagine what will be going on. The fire of lust will be burning in their heart. So that is why we have to understand that unless we give up the desire, it's not just being impotent, no. The desire has to be given up, because why should the desire be given up? I will give you a very, very nice logic why the desire should be given up. There is no how much you engage in that act that will satisfy you. It's not, it will never give, it will not satisfy you. Means, what I mean by satisfying you means, does not mean that tomorrow you will not want again. Just like eating. No matter how much you eat today, tomorrow you still want to eat more. You still want to eat again. No matter how you eat today, tomorrow you want to eat, because it's the desire of the body. Same thing also with sex, is desire of the body. Anything that has to do with the body, you cannot satisfy it. You have to continue to do it again and again and again. It's not satisfying. And the scripture says, trying to satisfy the desire of the body is like pouring fuel inside the fire. Because it want you to continue to serve it, you become a slave. It will become your master. And then go like this, you go like that, go like that, you go like that. You start pushing here and there. You become like Mumu. Dundee United, like you mentioned. Okay, so it's never satisfying. That is why the desire should be given up, because trying to satisfy the demands of the body is never satisfying. So when the desire is given up with knowledge, then you become peaceful and be happy. Let me give you an example. Whenever we are fasting, I remember, whenever we are fasting, especially I remember those days we used to do Kartik. Go and ask people like Rama Priya Prabhu and many of those devotees who used to engage in Kartik with Maharaj. Also, we used to do that also. I used to follow also. And there's one other austerity we used to do with Maharaj. It's called Payovrata. 11 days you drink only milk. My own experience from all this activity was, whenever we engage in that activity that we don't eat, first day you'll be hungry. Second day, hunger will be there. But now your body will start looking for strength from your body. It means that your body starts generating strength for himself. The third day, you will be in bliss. You'll be very happy. You will now realize, you in your heart, the realization comes to you in your heart. Oh, food is actually my problem, because I've been eating. That is why I'm always facing miseries in my life. You will realize this, I'm telling you. You will feel that realization immediately when you come to that third day. And immediately when the date you set for breaking the fast comes, all this realization will disappear. Immediately you see food like this. I'm hungry. So that is what we get. When you fast from the food, you realize actually you have become a slave to food. That is why you face all the miseries in your body. You feel that inner bliss for not eating, for deriving pleasure of the soul. Now, because your energy is coming from the soul, so you get some pleasure, bliss from your soul. You realize that, oh, so food is a moderation. You feel like that. But immediately the date for fasting is over. All this realization is just like a woman who is pregnant. The day of delivery. Oh, I will never do this again. Oh, this is the last time. Oh, I will not do it again. Oh. Immediately the baby comes out, bam, that realization is gone. So it's like that. So anything that have to do with the body is like that. Because we are being the slave to our senses for many, many births. So giving up desire to serve our senses is what is going to give us freedom and true happiness. Unless we realize this, we cannot understand what is spiritual life. Okay? Do you get the point now, Gorashakti Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji. And I even got some realization through what you have said.
Very good.
Yes,
share your realization with us.
Yes, I didn't know that the impotent person still have the desire. You see?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
That's
You are impotent means due to your past sin, now you cannot gratify that senses again. Okay? But that does not mean that desire is giving up. The desire will still be there. The everything we do physically, everything sprung from our desire. The mind, we desire with our mind. We only carry out with our physical body. So even though if the physical body cannot do that act again, if the desire has not been removed, we will still be suffering from the reaction of not able to perform that activity physically. We'll be depressed, frustrated, because we cannot carry out the activity physically. Go out in the world, see how people are suffering because they cannot perform sexual life for a long time. They take medicine, they do all kinds of things because they want to engage in the acts for a longer time. And because they cannot do that, they take all kinds of medicine that destroy their body. Many of them in the later future in their life, they start having cancer. They start having all kinds of diseases in their body because of how they are destroying their body. Because they try to gratify the desire of the senses. Because the desire is very strong to enjoy. And because they cannot enjoy to their satisfaction, they take all kinds of medicine to increase that enjoyment, which will later bring so much problem to them in the future. So desire is from the mind. Gratifying desire is of the body. Unless we give up the desire, which is for the mind, the body cannot be peaceful. That is the point. And the mind also cannot be peaceful. Stephen Govinda, now you can say whatever you want to say.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yes, I wanted to attest to the fact that the last is in the mind and not in the body. Because I had a female friend who was reporting to me that a man is proposing to her, and the man is actually married, but at the same time he's impotent, and he wants a girlfriend. So an impotent man, you have a wife and you still need a girlfriend. So it is that time I had a realization that lust is actually in the mind and not in the body.
Yes. You understand? Yes. So you see, can you see? Can you understand the point now? See, he cannot satisfy the one he has kept at home. He wants another one. Is it not stupid? Is it not foolishness?
Really stupid.
So unless we give up the desire, we cannot be peaceful. The desire has to be given up. Only when we give up the desire, then we become happy in engaging devotional service. Okay? So let's continue.
Yes, Prabhu.
Any other comments or contribution?
Yes. My main question now, Prabhu, lately, if you watch carefully, like the number of people loving meat lately is becoming so outrageous, and it's
loving you.
No, loving meat eating.
Meat eating. Okay.
Yes, and now people have desire to taste crocodile meat and all these horrible animals, and now it's getting out of hand. But I would normally, when you ask this question in the Sunday Bhagavad Gita class, you know, sometimes because of new fights or newcomers, they massage it. But I would like you to, openly explain to us what is the fate of a meat eater? Like someone who died as a meat eater. What is his real fate? What is his destination? Hare Krishna.
Yeah, the thing that is there, the point is that already we have heard many times in the scripture, the fate of meat eaters, they become that animal they kill and eat in their next life. Okay, so that is what karma has, what the scripture has told us based on karma. So whatever animal you eat the meat, you become that animal in your future life, so that the animal will come also and eat your own meat. So the cycle continues for eternity if you don't stop. Actually, Prabhupada mentioned many times that meat eaters cannot understand God. And I'm very frank with you. Let me tell you the open secrets. Go into the world. People don't know who God is. They're just speculating. They know that somebody is there who is called God. They look into the heaven and pray to him. But who he is, they don't know. Only when you come to Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada shows us this is God. This is his abode. This is how he relates with us. This is how he wants us to come to him. We get full detail and full knowledge about who this God is. Only in Krishna consciousness. But in the world there, go there. Go and preach and listen to people. You will know that they don't know the God they are serving. They don't know. Recently, many of them have begun to put Jesus Christ on the platform of God because they don't know the God they are serving. So they started calling Jesus to be God. Even though Jesus Christ mentioned many times that his father is who has sent him is higher than him. He mentioned it many times in the Bible. But now, because they don't know about that father, and they don't even have any information about him, so they put Jesus on that position. So they don't know God. So that's what Prabhupada said. So it will be very difficult for meat eaters to understand God, because whatever you are what you eat, according to the scripture. You are what you eat. So if you want to really elevate your consciousness, that is why you see when you read the scripture or you read the pastime in the scripture, the Brahmanas, those who are really born from Brahmana family, they don't eat from anybody's house. They are very conscious what they eat, who cook what they eat, who, where the food is coming from. All these things, they are very conscious because they know what you eat is what make up your intelligence and your body. They're very, very sensitive. Unlike today now, we devotees, we just go to the streets, buy some bread, Shri Vishnu, you buy, as long as it's not meat, let me buy this and eat, as long as it's not meat. But when we come to the level of becoming a pure devotee, sincere devotee, we are very conscious of what we put into our mouth. Because then you know that what you put into your mouth, in your body, is what make up your body. That is why the pure devotee, their body is completely spiritual. Just by touching that body, you become purified. Because why? They eat only Krishna prasada, food that is already offered to Krishna. Okay? Is that okay? Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Prabhuji, there are two things I want to ask.
Is my food disturbing you there? You say what?
I've heard one when they say those who kill cow have to come take life again as much as the number of hairs on the cow's body. Yes. I want to know if this is true.
The scripture is saying it. Yeah, I'm not the one saying it. It's true.
Yes.
Whatever the scripture is saying is true.
Wow. And then again, like you said that anybody who kills meat, then you have to take that form and come, and then that meat will kill you back, or somebody else will kill you as the meat. What happens? Yes. What happens if you come as a goat or as a chicken, but you happen to die without being killed by somebody else, but you just happen to die just like that? There are some fowls that just grow old. Nobody killed them, and they just die on their own like that. Do you have to still come again and wait till you are killed?
No, it's okay. It's not like that. As long as you have to come back in that body of that animal. You continue to come. Whether they eat you, they don't eat you. You continue to come in that body until you get purified. Okay? And that is why what they are trying to tell us from the scripture is that, because see, when we look actually into this, you come into this life again and again for millions of births for a long time. When you really study it and you see it compared to Krishna's time, it's nothing. Because when you read Srimad Bhagavatam, calculation of time from atom, the whole year of Lord Brahma, which is 311 trillion years, is 100 years. It's just not up to a seconds of Krishna's breathing. Krishna breathes out. How long does it take you to breathe out? It doesn't take, not up to a second. So Krishna breathing out is all this our creation. You taking births as one animal for millions of births. That is what it means. For going up and down, going here and there. It's not up to a seconds in the eyes of God. So that is why Krishna is always very eager to reclaim us. Because for him, it's insignificant. Whatever you do for millions of births, as long as you are reclaimed, and you come to your senses and you want to come back to him, it's okay for him. Okay? So, but when you are passing through that torture, now you know what you feel. So we don't need to pass through that. That is why we should follow the scripture and avoid all these things. Okay? Yeah, Jama Sami.
Hi, Krishna Prabhu.
Oh, Krishna Bamini, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Prabhu, please, you made mention of you keep coming as an animal or goat, whatever, until you get purified. So how do you get purified? How? As an animal?
Oh, very good. That's a very good question. You see, the animals, they are following the nature's law. Once you are degraded to that platform, the purification comes by you following the number of years you are supposed to pass through in that body. Then gradually you evolve until you come to human body again. That is the evolution. Okay? Let's say, for example, you are supposed to, let's say one takes a body of a tree. You will take the body of a different species of tree for millions of birds. Then gradually you evolve. You come to the level of aquatics. You take all the different body of this aquatic, millions of them. You pass through them, pass on until you come to the highest of the species. Then again you evolve to the higher level. You come to the level of animal. Then you take all the level of the lower animal until you evolve. You come to the level of lion and tiger, and you come to the level of monkey, which is close to human being. Then your next life you can come to the. So it's gradual evolution. So millions of births you pass through different bodies until you gradually evolve to come to the level of human again, which take many millions of births. And many of us, we have passed through this process. And we should not go back to that again, because now we are gotten the mercy. So purification for this animal means they follow this nature's law until they come to the human form again. And when you come to this human form, this is opportunity given to you not to fall down again to this lower body, but to use that opportunity to engage in devotional service, purify yourself of that sinful activities you have incurred for millions of births, and now come back to Krishna without going down again. And I see your hands again.
Yes, Prabhu, one more question.
Please, go ahead.
What about devotees that used to eat meat and fish before they actually became devotees? Would they still face the same calm and the same reaction of coming back as an animal? No. Or their sin is automatically cleared just by
Krishna. Krishna mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, Nea Brikramo Nasusti, Pratayavate what is that verse? Nea Brikramo Nasusti. What is that verse again? 240. Who have Bhagavad Gita? They are open to 240.
Neabri Sosti. What is the next line? Read it, let me hear you.
Hare
Vidyate. So apam apia sia dharmasia trayate mayato bayat. Yes. So that is the point is that when you come to this human platform and you engage in devotional service, trayate mayato bayat. Be saved from the greatest fear. The greatest fear is falling down to animal species again. So once you engage in devotional service, you will not fall down to animal species again. Okay? At least you are sure of taking human birth again. But we should not be reluctant. We should not be complacent. Oh, okay, I'm a devotee. I will not take animal species. You can never tell. You have to be very careful. Like a story of Bharat Maharaj. Bharat Maharaj was a devotee, but he became very attracted to a deer. And in his next life, he took the body of a deer. So we have to be very careful as a devotee. Okay. So, but when you are a devotee, then you are safe from taking that lower birth of lower animal, because at least you'll be given opportunity to take another human form when you are a devotee. Okay. No matter what about if some Prabhupada mentioned in one of the purport in Net of Instruction, he said, for devotees who are not very serious, who are on this part of devotional service, who are not serious about devotional service, in their next life, they take birth in a very low, poor family devotee. So when you see some devotee who taking birth in a poor family devotee, it's because they have not taken their devotional service very serious. Not poor family devotee, poor in a very poor family, not a devotee family. So such people, they will come in contact with devotional service very fast in their life, because they were in devotional service in their past life, but because they were not taking it serious, so they lose that opportunity. So they take birth in a very poor family, and again quickly they will come to devotional service due to the situation they find themselves in the early stage of their life. Okay, so let's read one more verse, then we try to round up for today. Can you see my screen? No. Let me share it. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Yes, it's coming up.
Okay. So, yeah, Arjuna continues. Sarva etam ritam manye yamam badasike shava naite bhagavam vyaktim vidudeva nadanava. Oh, Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. Neither the demigods nor the demons, oh Lord, can understand your personality. Okay? So here, let's read the purports. Purport, somebody read. Then we can talk.
Purport. Arjuna hearing confirms that persons of faithless and demonic nature cannot understand Krishna. He is not known even by the demigods. So what to speak of the so-called scholars of this mundane world? By the grace of the Supreme Lord, Arjuna has understood that the supreme truth is Krishna and that he is the perfect one. One should therefore follow the path of Arjuna. He received the authority of Bhagavad Gita as described in the 4th chapter, the Paramparam system of disciplic succession for the understanding of Bhagavad Gita was lost, and therefore Krishna re-established that disciplic succession with Arjuna, because he considers Arjuna his intimate friend and a great devotee. Therefore, as stated in our introduction to Gita Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita should be understood in the Param system. In the Parampara system, when the Parampara system was lost, Arjuna was selected to rejuvenate it. The acceptance by Arjuna of all that Krishna says should be emulated. Then we can understand the essence of Bhagavad Gita, and then only can we understand that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
So, like here, Arjuna is telling us, it's very, very important statement at a point we should take note of. I agree with what you say, Krishna. Neither the demigods nor the demons, oh Lord, can understand your personality. This is true. Like I mentioned now, I was saying the other time, go into the world, go and find out about God from people. Only very few people know the God they are serving. Majority of people, they don't know the God they are serving. They just know that somebody is there up there who is listening to their prayers. But they don't know. They don't know him. They don't have any information about him. So yeah, Arjuna is saying that even the demigods, they cannot understand Krishna. When Krishna came to this planet 5,000 years ago, Krishna stopped the Indra Jagya. Krishna saw that the Vrajabasis were performing Indra Jagya. So he wanted to teach Indra lesson. He stopped Indra Jagya. He said they should not perform Jagya to Indra. Indra is my servant. He's just carrying out his prescribed duties. He's going to give rain anyway, whether you serve him or you don't serve him, because he has to do it as his duty. It's my servant. So, but because Indra is already getting gratification from this Jagya, he became angry and he wanted to destroy the Prajapasis. He could not understand that this is Krishna, the supreme God, who is serving. Just imagine. He could not come to that realization. He could not come to his senses. To tell you how understanding Krishna is not easy. So after he tried that to destroy the Vrajabasis, Krishna, humbled him. He came to his senses and came to apologize to Krishna. And he was offering wonderful prayers in Krishna book. You can read that. Same thing with Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma, who is intelligence personified. When you talk about Lord Brahma means intelligence personified. Is the most intelligent person in this universe. When you talk about intelligence, it's intelligence personified. That's why he's the creator. Because it's God, is Krishna intelligence personified in the material form. Okay? Lord Brahma was bewildered. He could not realize, he could not understand that this is Krishna playing in Vrindavan. He saw Krishna relating with his devotees. He said, who is this boy? It cannot be my master. See how he's playing with these other boys. They are putting food inside each other's mouth and, taking and eating. No, this is not my God. No, this cannot be. So he tried to test Krishna. He took away Krishna's cowherd, the boys and the cow and the calves. Krishna immediately, spontaneously manifested all those numbers of boys and calves. Immediately expanded, and in that way, for 1 good year, because the Brahma did that for 1 year. In Brahma's time, it was 1 second. His 1 second is complete 1 year, yeah. So in 1 second of his time, he took these boys. But already 1 year already passed. And for that 1 year, Krishna expanded himself into cowherd boys and calves. And these cowherd boys and calves, they were going to their different mothers' home, meeting the different cows for that 1 good year. But the Acharya mentioned that for that year, their parents, they fed their love, increased, more for Krishna, just like the love they fed for the Krishna himself. So they could not understand why their love for their children is, is more than, is the same love they felt for Krishna. They could not understand because Krishna was now acting as their child. So you can understand, even Lord Brahma was bewildered. What happened when Brahma came to his senses? He said, Krishna, I think I know you before. Anybody who say he know you, let them continue to say that too. For me, I think I cannot begin to understand your personality. The same thing also he did to him again. When he came to Dwaraka, and he was feeling popped up that he know everything about Krishna. And Krishna want to humble him. Say, which of the Brahmas? Why would Krishna ask such question? Which of the Brahmas? Is there any other Brahmas? No. Then when he entered, he said, Krishna was trying to receive him very nicely. He said, Krishna, wait. You have to clear my doubt first. You ask which of the Brahmas? Is there any other Brahmas? And Krishna just did it like this. and other Brahmas came. The one with 1,000 heads, the one with millions of heads, you know. The smallest was the 10 heads, and like that. He has the smallest among them. He has only 4. Because the direction of his own universe is just 4. You know, the other universes, they are bigger than our universe. So according to the size, the Brahma's head, the numbers of the heads of the Brahmas. So Krishna made it in such a way that only him can see all of them together. But those Brahmas, they could not see other Brahmas. They were only seeing themselves and Krishna. See the greatness of Krishna. So immediately Krishna showed him that. Chaitanya Charitamrita mentioned that Brahma became like a rabbit beside an elephant. He was humbled. He was humbled. He became very humble. He could realize that, no, I was thinking I know Krishna, but actually I don't know anything about him. So when Arjuna is mentioning this verse, that neither the demigods nor the demons know you, you come what I'm saying now. Do you understand now? Because even the demons, ordinarily we know the demons. When Krishna was here, they were attacking Krishna. They don't even though they see his greatness, still they could not surrender to him. They're still envious of him. Okay? So they don't know that is the supreme personality of Godhead. So not to mention any of them and start talking about their pastimes, we already understand that. I'm just giving an example of the demigods for us to understand. When Arjuna is saying that neither the demigods nor the demon understand Krishna, we should understand what it means. Talk less of we, the insignificant soul. Chaitanya Charitamrita explained in the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita. The universes are like bucket of mustard seed. How many of you have seen mustard seed before? You know mustard seed? Yeah, if you are cooking in the kitchen, you will know what is mustard seed. Now you get a bucket of mustard seed. Then you pick one mustard seed out of the bucket of mustard seed. That is our universe. Our universe, this our big universe, is like one mustard seed in the bucket of mustard seeds. Okay? Now, in that one mustard seed, this small insignificant mustard seed, we have 7 continents. Okay? In that 7 continents, we have one continent called Africa. Okay? In that Africa, we have many countries. Okay? Among many countries, we have one country called Ghana or Nigeria or Ivory Coast, wherever you are coming from. Okay? You have one of them, or Benin, whatever. You have one country. And in that country, you have so many states. And among these states, you have one particular state which you are staying, whether Lagos or Benin or where, Port Harcourt, or wherever you are staying, Accra or wherever. And these states, you have so many cities. Then when you zoom, you come to your street. There's so many people in that your street. Oh. Then you zoom, you come to your house. There are many people living in that your house, and you're just one of them. You see how insignificant we are in the eyes of God. So insignificant. But right there, we are sitting down and we are thinking we are the center of the universe. Very puffed up. We are thinking without me, nothing can happen. Without me, this cannot do, this cannot be happen, this cannot do. So puffed up. First ago. But actually, we are very, very insignificant in the creation of God. This is the God we are talking about. And that is why we have to be very, very humble if we really want to understand him, because we are very insignificant in his creation. The bigger part of his creation is in the spiritual world. This material world is 1/4 of his creation. So we are very, very insignificant. You will realize how insignificant we are when you take a plane and you go up in the sky. When you go up in the sky, all your houses, now when you are downstairs, when you are down, you think that you are very wonderful, big, and the ant is very small to you. You can just step on them. But when you go up in the sky, all your houses, your skyscraper become like ant hills also. They become like anthill. They become very insignificant. Just imagine God sitting there up there and really looking down on us, how insignificant we are. And that is why we should always be humble. Because only when we are humble, we can sincerely practice devotional service. Because actually we are insignificant part of God. Is that okay? So when Arjuna is saying that neither the demigod nor the demons can understand God, we should understand that he's saying the facts. Because even Arjuna, who is very close to Krishna should even tell him more about himself. Because only yourself can tell yourself to others. People can perceive so much, whatever they think about you, but only when you tell people about who you are, they can really know you. Any question regarding that? We have 15 minutes more. So that's why Prabhupada mentioned in the purport that if you really want to understand Krishna, we have to follow the Paramparam system. Just like Krishna is establishing that through Arjuna. So that's why we have to always appreciate Srila Prabhupada for giving us this wonderful knowledge. Giving up his comfort to spread his knowledge to us. We cannot pay him enough. We cannot pay our debt to Srila Prabhupada and our gurus. The only way we can just show some gratitude is when we share this knowledge with others. Let's read verse 15. Can you see my screen?
Yes, please. Yes.
Yes, Prabhu, we can see.
Swayam Ivatmanatmanam Veda Tvam Purushottama Bhuta Bhavana Bhutesha Deva Deva Jagapate. Indeed, you alone know yourself by your own internal potency. O Supreme Person, origin of all, Lord of all beings, God of gods, Lord of the universe. You understand? So these are wonderful prayers. When we go in front of Krishna, you don't know what to say. Just follow these prayers of Arjuna. There's so many prayers in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. When you come in front of the deities, you don't need to know what to say. Not just standing there and staring at them and say, give me money, give me food, give me fame, give me position. No. You should offer these prayers to the God when you are in front of them. Oh Krishna, you alone know yourself through your internal potency. Oh Supreme God, you are all the origin of all, the Lord of Lord, the God of God, the Lord of the universe. You are the supreme cause of all causes. This is how you pray to God. By reading Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, we learn how to pray to God. Not the general prayer of give me this, give me that. You glorify God. That's how to pray to him. See, Arjuna is doing that here. Okay? So somebody should read the purport.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. Please go ahead, Prabhu.
Yeah. The purport. The Supreme Lord Krishna can be known by persons who are in a relationship with him, though through the discharge of devotional service like Arjuna and his followers. Persons of demoniac or atheistic mentality cannot know Krishna. Mental speculation that leads one away from the Supreme Lord is a serious sin, and one who does not know Krishna should not try to comment on Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is the statement of Krishna, and since it is the science of Krishna, it should be understood from Krishna as Arjuna understood it. It should not be received from atheistic persons, as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, text number 11. Vadanti tam twata vedam tam twa jana adhyayam brahmeti brahmamateti Bhagavan iti sambhadyet. The supreme truth is realized in three aspects. as impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatma, and at last as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, at the last stage of understanding the Absolute Truth, one comes to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A person, a common man, or even a liberated man who has realized the impersonal Brahman or localized Paramatma may not understand the God's personality. Such men, therefore, may endeavor to understand the Supreme Person from the verses of Bhagavad Gita, which are being spoken by this person, Krishna. Sometimes the impersonalists accept Krishna as Bhagwan, or they accept his authority. Yet, many liberated persons cannot understand Krishna as Purushottam, the Supreme Person. Therefore, Arjuna addresses him as Purushottam. Yet, one still may not understand that Krishna is the father of all living entities. Therefore, Arjuna addresses him as a Bhuta Bhawan. And if one comes to know him as the father of all the living entities, still one may not know him as the supreme controller. Therefore, he is addressed here as a Bhuteshwar, the supreme controller of everyone. And even if one knows Krishna as the supreme controller of all living entities, still one may not know that he is the origin of all the demigods. Therefore, he is addressed herein as Devadatta, Deva, the worshipful god of all demigods. And even if one knows him as the worshipful god of all demigods, one may not know that he is the supreme proprietor of everything. Therefore, he is addressed as Jagatpati. Thus, the truth about Krishna is established in this verse by the realization of Arjuna, and we should follow these footsteps of Arjuna to understand Krishna as is. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I think we lost him, so we wait for his return.
Okay. Our time is almost up, sir.
Yes.
So what to do? We wait indefinitely.
Yeah, I think he's back now.
Yeah, I'm seeing. Okay.
Sorry, network. We're in the material world.
Yes, no Allah.
So thank you very much for that reading. So in that purport is establishing that different people may understand a different aspect of Krishna. Well, Arjuna is giving us the full perspective of Krishna from that verse. Okay, Krishna is the Lord of all living entity, is the Lord of all planets, is the origin of everything, is the master of the whole universe. So you can understand. So, and only you can know yourself. And Krishna know himself by his internal potency. We are Ladini Shakti, Sambit, and the other one. What is the last? The third energy of Krishna. There's three internal energy of Krishna: Ladini, Sambit, and what is the other one? Anybody there?
We know the English version. The internal, the external, and the marginal.
Yeah, this one is another one I'm mentioning. This one is more of the spiritual energy of Krishna. We have Ladini Shakti, which is the pleasure potency of Krishna, which is personified by Srimati Radharani. We have the Sambit, which is the knowledge potency of Krishna, which he knows himself and cause others to know him. And the last one, I escaped my mind now. Okay. Sandini Shakti, which is he created on which the spiritual world is created, is established and maintained. The Sandini Shakti of Krishna. So this energy of Krishna, Sambit, in which Krishna knows himself and cause others to know him. Unless we come to that platform or purify, we cannot come to this platform of Arjuna. So Arjuna is on that platform now and begin to glorify Krishna on that. Unless you become pure, you cannot pray to Krishna purely. That is why when we go in front of Krishna or in front of God, we don't have any prayer to pray. We're only thinking about ourselves. God, give me money. Oh God, give me a wife. Oh God, give me a house. Oh God, because we don't know about the God. We don't even know about him. Talk less of how to glorify him. We don't know that when you come in front of him, when you glorify him, when he's pleased with your glorification, he can easily give you those things you are thinking without you asking of them. Just like when you go in front of a king, and when you are in front of the king, you just say, King, I need some money. Okay, you need money. Oh, yeah, take. Go, don't disturb me. And another person go in front of the king and say, oh, King, you are the Lord of all the city. You know, you conquer all the directions. You are glorified. Your name is wonderful. You are the true son of your dynasty. You start growing. The head of the king will be, yes, come. What can I do for you? You know, that is it. It's practical. So instead of you just asking for small thing, that when given to you, after God has given to you, you are still not satisfied. Just please him. When he's pleased with you, whatever he's going to give you will be satisfying. You'll be happy. Just like Dhruva Maharaj did. Dhruva Maharaj, after pleasing Krishna, the original desire he had, say, Krishna, please, I don't want them again. They are like broken bottle. Krishna, I don't want again. Please, Krishna, can you please don't try to fulfill them? Krishna said, no. Once you please me, I fulfill your desire. So you are going to get them. But the difference is that because you have pleased me, you will enjoy them, but you will not be entangled by them. So pleasing Krishna should be the goal of our life. So I will stop the class at that point. And thank you very much for staying till the end. Apruba Prabhu, thank you for staying till the end. And other devotees. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you for your effort.
And
your effort we appreciate.
Hare Krishna. So we want to see all of you again next weekend. And before that time, let us try go and read the opulences of Krishna. Because after this, Krishna will start describing his opulences to Arjuna. How he pervaded everywhere. How we can see Krishna in his creation. Krishna is going to start retelling that to Arjuna. And at the end of the chapter, Krishna will tell Arjuna, all these things I've shown you, they're just small spark of my opulence. The whole thing in the creation, I've been telling you of this, I am that, this. They're just spark. They are nothing. This is the God we are talking about, Krishna. He is the Lord of Lords, the God of gods. You know, the origin of all, the master of all the planets and the universes. So we are very fortunate to be in this process. So let us take it very seriously. Chanting our rounds and making sure every day we study the scripture. La Prabhupada ki jai.
His grace Kavikarnapura Prabhu ki
jai.
La Prabhupada ki jai. Panchakapatarubhescha ke paas nubhya pacha Paditana Bhavani Vaishnava. So see you next weekend. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Au revoir.